All right, this lesson is talking about possessive adjectives, and you can read about it in your textbook in lesson 3.2. I'd encourage that you do look at that as well as listen to this video. Possessive adjective is a descriptive word to show possession. So you can say it is, in English you can say it is John's car. In Spanish we'd have to say it is the car of John. It's a little bit easier if you just say it is his car. So his would be a possessive adjective because it's a replacement that shows possession. So in English, our possessive adjectives are my, your, his or her, are, their, or your. So it is my car, it is your car, it is his car, it is her car, it is our car, or it is their car, or it is your car. In Spanish, the equivalents would be mi or mis, tú or tus, su or sus, nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras, or su or sus. So anytime you see one of these things, it's going to be possessive. Do notice that tú is different than tú with an accent. Tú with an accent is you. Tú without an accent is your. So we're talking about adjectives, and with adjectives generally you have to think about whether the noun that you're talking about is masculine or feminine, singular or plural. These are adjectives, and so you have to think about the same thing. However, with the gender, whether it's masculine or feminine, you only really have to think about that with the nosotros. The nuestro, nuestra, or nuestros or nuestras. The other ones you just have to think about whether it's singular or plural. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to explain how to use possessive adjectives. And there are basically two things that you need to think about. Whose is the object and how many objects are there? So let's say that we're talking about Mr. Fox's tables, right? So whose are they? Right? They would be Mr. Fox's. So it's going to be in this category because Mr. Fox would be L. And then how many tables do we have? We have more than one, so we're going to use sus. So if we wanted to say they are his tables, we would say son, because we have more than one thing. The tables are, so son, sus, mesas. They are his tables. All right. Let's do another example. All right. So let's say they are my parents. So they're mine. Whose are they? They are of me, so yo. How many do we have? We have more than one parent, and so that would be mis. Son mis padres. They are my parents. Let's say that it is your dog. Dog is perro, and so if we want to say it's yours, it's of you. How many dogs do you have? You have one, so it's going to be tú. It is your dog. Let's say that they are our grandparents. Whose grandparents are they? They're the grandparents of we, nosotros. How many grandparents do we have? We have more than one, so it's going to be one of these. But then for this one, we also have to think about, is it masculine or feminine? Because we can either do nuestros or nuestras. You have one grandpa, and so there's at least one male, and so we're going to use nuestros. Let's say that we want to say he is your teacher, and he's the teacher of all of the students. So we have more than one student, and so that's going to be ellos. Okay, and how many teachers do we have? We have one, so it'd be es su profesor. Notice here that if we said he is your professor, that'd be here, and we have one, so it'd be su. He is your professor would be es su profesor, and he is all of your professor would be es su profesor, and he is their professor would be es su profesor as well. So in a situation like this where it can have lots of different meanings, unless you're in a conversation where it's really clear, it would be a good idea to clarify and to say es el profesor de ustedes, or es el profesor de él, or es el profesor de ellos, to make sure that you know who you're talking about. So we're going to finish up this lesson with some sentence practice. I want you to pause the video and translate these sentences. I will give you the translation in just a minute, the corrections. Correct your sentences and then upload them to Moodle. Okay, so this first sentence, I'm going to write over here the possessive adjectives so that way we don't forget. I would encourage you to do this on every test. So mi or mis, tú or tus, su or sus, nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras, and then su or sus. This little thing above that su, that should be a comma. It's not an accent, it's just a comma. Sorry, it's hard to write on an iPad. Alright, so Rachel is my wife. Whose wife is she? Well, it's mine. There's one of her, so it's going to be me. So it's going to be es mi esposa. Number 2, Jacob is Mr. Fox's son. I threw this in because it is a little bit of a trick. Anyway, to try to trick you, there is no possessive adjective here. You see the apostrophe S, which shows possession, but remember in Spanish you cannot use the apostrophe S. So we're going to have to say the son of Mr. Fox. So we're going to say Jacob es el hijo de Mr. Fox. If you wanted to change the sentence, you could say he is his son, which is number 3. So he is his son. So we're going to say es su hijo. Because whose is it? It is the son of him. And then there's only one, so we're going to do su. Number 4, the pretty girl is their daughter. So we have a couple of things that we need to do here. We have this adjective, the pretty girl. So girl would be chica. And then where do you put the adjective? You put it after because it's descriptive. So la chica, and then the word for pretty is bonito or bonita. In this case we're talking about a girl, so we're going to say la chica bonita es, whose daughter is it? It's the daughter of more than one person. So it's going to be this one. How many daughters do we have? We have one, so we're going to say su. So es su hija. I'm going to switch to blue because I've been writing in pink so far. Number 5, the smart and handsome youth is our nephew. Okay, we're talking about a guy or a girl. Nephew indicates that it's male. So the smart and handsome youth. Youth is joven. It's a noun and it's also an adjective. In this case, it's a noun. So we're going to say the el joven. Don't forget that smart and handsome are adjectives, and so they are going to go after. El joven, inteligente, y guapo. Okay, in Spanish you cannot do a comma between adjectives. You have to do and. And so that's inteligente, that's an E. Okay, so el joven inteligente y guapo es. Okay, whose nephew is it? It's the nephew of us. So we're going to do either nuestra, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras. It's one, and it's masculine, so we're going to say nuestro with an O. And the nephew is sobrino. Number 6, Sally is your silly friend. So Sally, she's feminine. Silly, that's tonto. But Sally is a girl, so we're going to say tonta. And then whose friend is it? It's the friend of you. So we're going to say tú or tus unless we're talking to somebody that we want to show respect to. So we're going to say Sally es tu amiga. Don't forget that she's a girl. Tu amiga tonta. And then Katie, Tiffany, and Emily are our students. So we have 1, 2, 3, and they are girls. So I'm just going to say son rather than writing out the names. So they are our students. So whose students are they? They are the students of us. So it's either nuestra, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras. How many of them are there? There's more than one, so we're going to have an S on the end, and they're all girls, and so it's going to be nuestras estudiantes. Alright, make any corrections that you need to, and upload it to Moodle.